the relative strength number is calculated over a year period of time. And if I take like this is a year, well, no, that's the beginning of the year. If I take where we are, this is a year period of time on Peloton.
Mm-hmm.
And so 20%, 20% of the rating is this action. 20% is this action. Another 20% is this action. And the last 40% is this action. So there's more weighting on the last quarter. But if you have this huge move here, then and the stock's off 50%, you still might have a very, very high relative strength number. I like to look at the relative strength line, and that line may be easier to see if you look at the weekly. That line is against the S&P 500, which is a little bit more constant. And so you can see, even as this stock was still staying at highs, the relative strength line was starting to break. So I put a lot more weight in how this stock is acting relative to this line. And you can see even this, a lot of people are going, okay, maybe this is a buy spot on this stock. It looks like it's starting to break out and it's formed a big cup, but look how it's acting on a relative basis. This is where the relative strength line was the last time it was at 124. Now the stock actually hits 129 and the relative strength line is actually lower.
Right.
Saying that this thing's it's just not acting well versus the market. So I put a lot more weight into how this is doing. So you can see some real divergences that are occurring when stocks are making new highs and the relative strength line is not making new highs. And I mean, here's an example. Look how well Amazon was acting on a relative basis back here.
Right.
Stock actually breaks out of a base. Everybody's getting excited. It goes for 3 days. Look where the relative strength line is now at this point versus where it was even at lower prices back before. It's not the same stock. It's not as strong as it was before. And so that's where you have to be careful of stocks breaking out. If the relative strength line is nowhere near the high, you have to be very suspect. And so and then you can also use it on the downside when the relative strength line is starting to rally.
Yeah.
And this isn't a good example. When the market's in a downtrend and the relative strength line is starting to rally in a bad market, that's a very good sign.
If you actually look at Amazon back in the 2020 correction, you had a great example of that. The RS line is making new highs before the price within the base.
Yeah, here it is. Here it is back here. Yeah, look at the relative strength line going up. But yeah, now look at the relative strength line.
It's in a decline, yeah.
Yeah,